welcome back. Good morning. This is the AM show. If you're just waking up and just tuning in, you're welcome. Thank you for choosing us. If you've been here with us since a little before 6, and again, thank you so much for being with us. We're getting into the newspapers this morning, and we have our very distinguished presidential correspondent joining us this morning. That was all echo. That wasn't me. That was all echo. Elton is joining us for the first time to go through the newspapers with us. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's so nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me here.
All right. So what do you want to start with this morning?
So there appears to be so much about e-levy.
Yes.
And it's on almost all the papers here we have this morning. So if you take the dispatch, for example, it says that e-levy reduced from 1.75 to 1.5%. That's a fair marking. Now, same people have the minority will accept e-levy if it is reduced to 1%. So there appears to be some agreements that we need the e-levy. How it's going to turn out as far as Parliament is concerned, that's what we need to wait and see. And if you go to the Daily Statement, there's also majority leader, 1% is supposed to be minority leader. Because when I do say minority
leader, minority leader,
1% e-levy is acceptable. The main story, though, is that our record is remarkable. President Akufo-Addo tells government performance in the agri sector. And then the BNFT, that's Business and Financial Times, land ownership impeding youth from cocoa farming, high tariff cost of credit, top business concerns in the first half of 2021. And then the finder, 1% e-levy, 300 free transfer acceptable. That's according to Haruna Idrisu. Again, Akufo-Addo is talking about his record in the agriculture sector and says that it is impressive. Chief of Staff calls for national dialogue on social protection financing, and Parliament commits to resolve 2022 budget impasse according to the Peace Council. So these are the stories as we have it on the front pages of the various newspapers. Now, we can start with the most contentious issues in this country, and it has to do with the e-levy. So on the 4th page of the finder, it says the minority leader Haruna Idrisu has proposed a reduction in the electronic transfer e-levy to 1% from 1.75%. In addition, he wants the 100 Ghana cedi threshold for free transfer to be increased to 300 Ghana cedi. He's explained that the e-levy would make a great contribution to fiscal consolidation and would ensure the economy does not collapse going forward. And he was speaking at the 10th anniversary launch of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunication in Accra. So he said a week ago it was a no. We won't accept e-levy. But having listened to the officials in government, including the Minister for Finance and Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Adibuai, I am convinced to accept a departure from our original no to accepting a 1% e-levy anymore.
Wow. We'll see how that will go this week. I mean, we know that this week in Parliament, some of these issues, God willing, will be ironed out.
Because, this week, today is the 6th of December. So Parliament has up until the 22nd of December to go on recess. So you have some few days.
Yeah, about 16 days.
Yeah, to first of all consider all the estimates from all the ministries, departments, and agencies, and then you get to the matter of the appropriation bill.
Yeah.
And we are told that President Akufo-Addo has directed all ministers and deputies not to travel.
Nobody should go anywhere.
The reason is that you have more of your ministers coming from Parliament.
Yeah.
And you need your 138 to be in the House. 14th of December, most likely the Speaker will be in the chair. And it will be at that time that they will start the approval of all the estimates. And you need your full force to back. Now that the minority has made it clear that they will vote on every issue.
That should be interesting. It means no traveling for anyone. So we'll see. We'll have that conversation in detail a little later on in the show. We'll have some MPs joining us. Also have the chairman of the National Peace Council joining us as well, because they have called that's dialogue. The two sides should dialogue and try and build some sort of consensus.
In fact, there's a 10-member committee, 20-member committee looking into these matters. Also have the leaders also doing their own consultation to get everybody on board.
This and that. And do you have a few more stories?
Yes. So if you go to the 2nd page of the statement, over the weekend, last Friday actually, the National Farmers Day came off. 44-year-old Mohammed Kujo from Mion in the Northern Region emerged as the 2021 National Best Farmer. And according to the paper, farmers across the country have called on government to invest more in the agriculture sector to make it attractive to Ghanaians, especially the youth, because it has huge potential they have rejected claims that the sector is not profitable. The national best farmer, Alhaji Mashood Mohammed, speaking on the sidelines of the 37th National Farmers in Cape Coast on Friday, said the sector is profitable. It has a venture that has a bright prospect for those who would venture into it. And according to President Akufo-Addo, his record is unprecedented in the agricultural sector. The introduction of the planting for food and jobs has helped in reviving this particular sector. According to, for the first time since 1984, our end-to-end yield in terms of cocoa production went beyond 1 million. And according to him, that's, could be attributed to the investment government has done in the agricultural sector.
I see. That's interesting. Okay. So does that mean that we won't get the loans anymore?
Loans?
Yes.
For what?
Okay. Never mind. I think we'll always be borrowing. Let me just do the Ghanaian Times. Okay, so front page, NPC urges consensus building in Parliament. Reverend Dr. Ernest Edujemfi has been speaking, and he'll be joining us this morning. Deal with waste management in a sustainable, timely manner. Dr. Joseph Siao Ejipon urges world leader. Now, there's that story, 6 perish, others injured in gory accidents at Sege. Also, COVID-19 Omicron variant travel ban, President Rab's global community for targeting African countries. And I think it was South Africa that was really, really targeted once they had done the sequencing and they had, talked about Omicron, that it seemed as if they were suddenly targeted, for discovering it or for finding out that this is what had happened. But unfortunately, their numbers have gone up. But I do remember that some South Africans were speaking and saying, the fact that we found it or the fact that we have information on it does not necessarily mean that, we are releasing a lot of people who have it. So definitely I understand President Akufo-Addo. Also because honestly, the African numbers do not even compare to the numbers that Europe and Asia and America have done.
And I guess that's the reason why President Akufo-Addo is saying that you cannot single us out.
Exactly.
And make us a scapegoat.
Exactly, because our numbers are actually not as bad as yours. So there's that story. I'm sure you heard about this one as well. The 41 feared dead after bus carrying choristers plunges into river. That happened in Kenya. Really, really sad. They were going to a wedding and they plunged into a river. Really sorry. May their souls rest in peace. Okay, let me do the center spread of the Ghanaian Times. Okay, so the president, I just told you, RAP's global committee for targeting African countries, and then he's calling on African business community to ensure that AFCFTA becomes successful as well. That's center spread of the Ghanaian Times. Okay. Congratulations to the Methodist Church Women's Fellowship. They're marking their 90th anniversary in Accra. The Gender Ministry rolls out initiatives to support victims of gender-based violence. So there's that. Malaria cases have dropped in the past 4 months, which is fantastic. And let's see if we can find something interesting on sports.
I mean, there's this very interesting story in the BFT. And it talks about high tariff, cost of credit, top business concerns in the first half of 2021. Now, they've listed some of the challenges they are going through.
Okay.
And they provided a graph to tell you how prevalent these challenges are. So the most important constraints facing your business today, all sectors of the economy. Now, number 1 is COVID-19. And then high rate of corruption, number 2.
I see.
And then difficulty in obtaining loans.
Okay.
Unstable exchange.
Okay.
High government bureaucracy and tariff.
Okay.
Low sufficient payment, lack of skilled workers, poor infrastructure. But the highest among all of them is the high utility tariff that you pay for electricity and
water.
Maybe possibly water. That's the highest. And then high cost of input. So the 3 topmost, you can talk about high utility charges, high government bureaucracy in going through the red tapeism before you get whatever approval you need to go through, and high rate of corruption. That are the concerns that are facing businesses of today.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I mean, COVID-19, yes, that's a given.
Exactly.
But I mean, the highest is the high
utility tariff. And now there are even talks of, a revision of the tariff that we are paying. The possibility of repaying more is is on the table. Now, if you take a look at the table that has been provided by businesses, that is the highest, or that is perhaps the biggest challenge facing them if you take away COVID-19 and the rest. And then corruption and then red tapeism that they have to face on a daily basis and getting one approval or the other. So doing
Which one
business
is
in
this
Ghana,
one?
according
Excessive
to them,
influx of...
is incomplete, so it's difficult to tell. But I'm thinking that of maybe foreign products that are competing with local products and all that. So these are the challenges businessmen of the businessman of today is facing in Ghana.
Interesting.
And I think that government should take a look at this and try and see if they can deal with it effectively.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I'm still stuck on the utility charge because commercial electricity rates and you die. You die.
And then more especially when you don't get the power as much as you want it.
Exactly. So you're having to use generator and now fuel has gone up. And so, yeah, okay. Should I do the Daily Guide?
Of course.
Okay. So front page of the Daily Guide, Backbend Fierce NDC, Kevin Taylor. Akufo-Addo is African of the Year. I'm not going to get into that today. I'm just going to say congratulations and let it go. Okay, international stories. Military truck rams into group of Myanmar protesters in Yangon. CNN fires Chris Cuomo. Oh, Chris Cuomo. Okay, yeah. It was something to do with his brother, apparently. Yes. Volcano rescuers face ash as high as rooftops. Pope meets migrants as Lesbos refugee camps. Let me quickly do entertainment. Stacey Amewoyi launches 11 books the same day. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so she launched 7 books. Okay. Ghanaian celebrity photographer praised for photo session with Queen Elizabeth II. That's interesting. Coming to Africa, premieres at Silverbird. Okay, and Rihanna breaks silence on being pregnant for ASAP Rocky. I'm sure you've been following the news. You have heard that Rihanna is pregnant with her first baby. Okay, Stone Boy Beanie Man headline BIM concert. We spoke to Kwame Rasta on Friday, so he told us about that. Ghana meets Niger out with new song party. And back page, Ghana wins amputee AFCON. Toga records Goldfields PGA tourney hat trick, and Haaland fumes at arrogant referee. Okay, that's it for the Daily Guide.
All right, so the statement has this story. Transport operators asked we just sit down strike. We must remember that they were given directive to start a sit-down strike today. So this morning on my way to work, I was looking around to see if people are stranded, people are walking to work and all that, but I didn't see any.
You didn't see anything, it seemed, yeah.
And this morning we are told that some of them are back to work because they've been given another directive to go on and work because there's been some kind of a discussion with government to see how the government can address some of their concerns. So they've given government up to the end of the day to resolve it, and key amongst them is government to take away some of the taxes on petroleum products. They think that it is the reason why petroleum products are quite up in the country. So if government is able to take away some of these taxes, it will help bring it down. Government says it cannot do it. Now there is negotiations to get them to work. They are working as of now, but they've given government up to the end of the day to meet their demands, or they get it down. The key question though is that these transport unions and then the vehicles are owned by individuals, and they have joined this association. So if the mother association says that you shouldn't come to work, I own the vehicle. Am I going to comply? That's the question. That's a big
oh gosh, but then again, I mean, obviously, so much is riding on what happens this week in Parliament.
Exactly.
Because a lot of these decisions will be made, and they'll, you know, kind of trickle down to all of this. Also, it really is also going to determine what kind of Christmas we're going to have. Yeah. Charlie, already we know the seat top, but you know, small. Thank you so much, Elton, for joining us. That was the newspapers. We did it really quickly, but there's a lot of information. We'll be dissecting that a little bit later on in the show, especially as we deal with Parliament and the matters arising. Hopefully, we'll have a peaceful week. No tantrums, no walkouts. None of that. Okay, so let me do my Joy Online quickly. Headlines: commercial drivers to embark on indefinite strike from Monday. And that's what Elton was saying, that he hasn't really seen anything. But apparently in Tamale, the coalition of commercial transport operators, yes, are hoping to or wanting to go on a strike. Teacher union to demonstrate on December 15th over laptop deductions. 2022 budget, Backbend gave up on mediation efforts for fear of attacks from Kevin Taylor. Fenyomake. Okay, so that's what's on the front page of the Daily Guide. And that Bagbin fears NDC and Kevin Taylor. Oh, my God. Okay, there was no proper quorum formed for Bagbin's rule. That's according to a lawyer. Legislative hooliganism affecting Parliament. Kwekubako, saying that on Newsfile on Saturday. There's a playback of the probe. And 4 die as bus carrying choristers plunges into a river. I'm wondering if that's the same story as what happened in Kenya.
Yeah,
because Kenya is 41.
When I saw it first, I thought Ghana.
Yeah, Kenya is 41, and then here is 4. Anyway, so we'll see about that. Okay, well that's it for the news review this morning. Thank you so much, Elton, for crossing over and joining me.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Yes, see you tomorrow. Of course, the show continues. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Muftal will be bringing us the sports. And then you can expect the chairman of the National Peace Council, as well as some members of Parliament, as we talk about Budget 2022. This is still the AM show. Don't go anywhere.